What's up everyone, welcome back to Just Finish Coding. This is part 4 of our Mastermind series on Scratch 3, so let's get coding.
Just finished coding.
Now quick interjection here, if you've not watched parts 1 to 3, please watch them before you come here because we're picking up from where we left off and you'll be very lost. I leave a card for you right here. Please watch the videos and then come right back. If you're still here, I'm going to assume that you've watched parts 1 to 3, in which case you should have quite a bit of your Mastermind game set up. But as you can see, once we've done this, there's really not much we can do within the game itself. So in this video, what I'll be doing is be programming a checker sprite, an answer, as well as the sprite hider. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, now I'm going to start off by duplicating the move maker sprite because our answer is going to be very similar to that. Now you can zoom out all the way because there's a lot of code that we need to chuck out, and I'm going to start off by throwing out all of this, and you can actually just clean it up completely because although there are a few similarities, it's just better to start afresh. So once you've thrown out all the blocks of code, I'm going to zoom in once again, and within variables you can keep two of them. You can keep the dimension and the clone number, but you want to delete the beginning start x and the game start x. Apart from that, the rest I think are global variables or public variables, so we don't really have to deal with them. Alright, so I'm going to start off with when I receive initialize, and when this actually happens, and I'll zoom in so that you guys can see better. So when I receive initialized, at this point in time I have to delete all the clones because remember we're restarting the game, so delete this clone. That's going to apply to all the clones. And after that, I'm going to start off the main code when I receive show move enter. And at this point, I'm going to add in a hide so that our sprite literally hides at the beginning. And remember, just like the move maker, we'll be having 4 clones, but we won't be showing the sprite itself. Now I'm going to add in an additional set too, because remember, we have not set the dimension yet. And for this case, our dimension is going to be about 50. So that's going to be our dimension. And after this, you can directly grab another block from events, which is going to be when I receive show main game. And at this point, I'm going to create a whole bunch of clones, and I'll be doing that within a function. So I'll create a new block called create clones, and after that, no input, no run without screen refresh. And I will define that block a little bit later, but just put that in for now. Alright, so now let's get into this block. I'm going to start off by defining set clone number to 1. And after that, we'll repeat 4 times to create 4 different clones, and we'll be creating a clone each time. So create clone of myself, and so that because we want each clone to have a different ID, we'll be changing our clone number by 1. So essentially, this is going to result in 4 different clones plus the sprite itself. So the sprite's clone ID or the clone number is going to be 5, while the clone ID for each of the other clones is going to be like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, so now I'm going to head over to control and grab a when I start as a clone. And this is where we start to go to the correct coordinates. And remember, within our game, we need to go to this particular coordinate right down here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first have an if then condition, and I'm going to say if not clone number is equal to 5. So what this is essentially going to do is hide the sprite itself, or keep that sprite hiding, and it's only going to show the clones. Okay, so I'll add in a show inside that, so put in a show there. And before this, I'm going to add in a go to back layer so that our answer is hidden behind the cover or whatever you want to call that. So go to back layer, and then I'll also switch the costume to be the correct costume. Switch costume to, and here just the way we had it for our okay, I'm not entirely sure if we did it yet. We'll do it the same way for the board sprite as well, just with a different list. But what we'll do is switch costume to, and now you can head over to variables and grab this block which says item number of, item 1 of, change that list to be correct move, and you can change that 1 to be clone number of correct move. So since we'll be having 4 different colors within our, I'm just going to assume for now that each color is different. I mean, each coin has a different color, but since we'll be having 4 different colors, the first clone number 1 is going to have the costume or or the letter. Okay, so since our costumes are going to match with that particular element within the list, we'll be switching to the correct costume. Anyway, I hope you understood that. And before this, we need to go to the correct position. So now I'm going to grab a go to X, go to Y. And for our Y position, that's going to be -153. You can just hard code that in. But for our X position, we'll be doing something similar. So we'll be having a plus, and then we'll be having a multiplied by. So the plus, we'll be having it as 10. And if you remember, we had the same number for our evaluations as our game start X. So that's pretty much the best coordinate after you start off when you're putting in the square or coin after that line there. So we'll be having 10 here, and within these two you can grab a dimension to the second one and clone number to the first one. So this is going to result in each of them going to that position. And what I'm going to do is, before I put in the cover up, I will make sure that this is set up properly. So now you can see that our code is pretty great right here, and now our job is to cover that up. Okay, now it's time to upload our code hider. So I'm going to click on upload sprite and click on the one which says code hider. And you can see we have this sprite, which is kind of pretty simple. All it's going to do is to overlap on that answer and cover it up. So I'm going to start this off with when I receive show move enter. We don't really have to do anything when we receive initialize. And when we do receive show move enter, I'm going to start by hiding right away. We're only going to be showing when we receive the show main game message. So when I receive show main game, first we'll go to, okay, and it's important you do this first. So I'll go to X is going to be 136. So it's going to be kind of to the right side of the screen, and Y is going to be the same thing, -153. And I'm going to add in a go to front position right before that. So go to front layer, and right after this, I'm going to add in a show, but we will be doing some effects with this. So we'll be having this gradually fade away when the player wins or loses. So I'll be clearing all the graphic effects, in this specific case the ghost effect, right before we show ourselves. And when we press the green flag now and just enter in some random code, let's just say this one, and now you can see that our actual code covers up that, and when we move it, we have the correct code underneath. Alright, perfect. So that is literally all that we need in our code hider for now. The animation we'll do a little bit later when we receive the player wins or player lose messages. But for now, you can click on upload sprite once again. And now within buttons, you can click on the one which says checker.svg. And this is, the checker where we press tick every single time we complete, making a move, and we're ready to see how accurate our guess is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this checker up there so that we can see it better. So now I'm going to get back to full screen mode, and let's start off programming the checker. Okay, on second thoughts, I just realized that the checker is going to be really similar to our done sprite. So I'm going to duplicate the done sprite, and then I'll just be changing the costume. So right click on done, click duplicate, you can delete the checker. And within the done sprites costumes, now you can change this. I just want to make sure I'm doing it on the right sprite. Yeah, on done too, not on done. So within this, you can just head over to the costumes, and within choose a sprite or choose a costume, click upload costume, and then click checker. And you can see that was a lot easier, and we already have quite a bit of code to start with. I'm going to rename that checker, and once again, I'll be zooming out to full screen mode. There are quite a number of things you need to change here. So I'm going to start off by changing this check if start done to check if proceed, and also changing correct move to be move. So the check winner is going to be like the duns, like the done sprite, except it's going to be for the move which we're making down there. So now there are still a couple of more things we need to change, and I think most of this part is fine. We will have to change the coordinates though. And we do need to make a new function, and this function is going to be called reset move, and this is going to be in addition to the reset correct clone list function, which I've already programmed since I duplicated it. So I'll be calling this reset move, and you can click run without screen refresh and then click OK. And here's what you need to do. First, you can just grab a repeat number of times here, and you can delete all of the move right before that. So delete all of move, and here you can add blank to move. So add blank to move, and we also just need to repeat this 4 times and not 10. Now I'm going to scroll back up, and we're actually going to be doing all this when we receive show or show main game. And when we receive the show move enter message, all I'll be doing is just hiding. So we won't need it in the intro screen. So when we receive show move enter, I'll add in a hide right there. And this is essentially going to be our setup right here. And I'm going to put that within a function. So I'm going to define a new function. So make a block, and this is going to be called setup. So in this case, you can run without screen refresh, and I'll be putting all of this right here. So setup, and there we go. That is all you will need for now. And I'm going to end with this video right here. We didn't see that much of an output, but in the next video, we'll have the messages set up between the checker and the move made, as well as the board sprites. So we'll actually get to see, move and an evaluation. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you leave a like, and also don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.